Kravitz. If you have not followed his Triple H Horse Racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
Good morning and welcome to Keeneland Today for Saturday, April 19th. I'm your host, Howard Kravitz of the HHH Racing Podcast, along with the host of Bet and Boozin', this morning's co-host, Mr. Kyle Roscoe. We are here to talk about the early pick five on, can we believe it, the last Saturday of the spring Keeneland meet. How the heck did that happen already? Maybe it was that 8 days in a row and crazy weather we had to start the meet. Thank you very much for watching. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button on the bottom right hand side of the screen. Hit the notification bell on the top right. And you especially need to do that, people, because wow, do we have a lineup of Derby and Oaks shows coming up in the next 2 weeks. And of course, smash that like button. Also, that's that thumbs button below the video player. Kyle, they'll send what, like-minded, what is it again?
Hopefully send like-minded horse players to the HHH Racing Podcast.
The YouTube algorithm, the famous
That's
YouTube
right.
algorithm. There you go. Kyle always says it better than I do. We got a lot to talk about, Kyle, but very quickly, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. We've got a fantastic standard tip sheet below the video player. It's been rocking and rolling for over 4 years. The plays of the day have hit like a ridiculous amount lately. They've been very good. Please make sure you look into that. We also we did have Keeneland only power picks, but we'll have those back again in the fall. We've got a great website, hhhracingpodcast.com, which I will talk about halfway through the show, Kyle, when we talk about our latest power pick offering, which is going to be our special Oaks Derby package, along with a very special show we have coming up on Monday. Kyle, how you doing this morning? We've got no racing tomorrow at Keeneland for Easter. And once again, as I stated earlier this week, a very happy Easter to all who celebrate tomorrow. On Sunday, there is no racing at Keeneland. There is racing throughout the country. However, it's Santa Anita and other places. What's going on, Kyle?
Nothing. Echoing all the sentiments, of course, you just said. Happy Easter to all who celebrate out there. Look, it's sad, of course, we don't get Keeneland tomorrow. We didn't get that gift. But either way, it's going to be a great time today, and lots of great racing, including later the Elkhorn and the Ben Ali Stakes. Of course, we will not be talking about on this show, but if you want to learn more about that, watch episode 128 of Betting and Boozin'. Got to get my plug in there.
There you go. Boy, that was, the transitions, Kyle, for you have gotten cleaner and cleaner as the years have gone along. Terry Frank is here. Patrick Little Dew is here. Again, John Kinzerski. I met John, by the way, Saturday, Kyle. It was his 75th birthday. He was celebrating it in the Lexington room. I believe he's an obstetrician or a retired obstetrician from, I believe, oh boy, John's going to upset. I think Destin, Florida. I believe that's correct. I hope I got that right, John.
Place.
Yeah, very good place. Sylvain is. Oh, look! Wow.
Oh,
Davey
we're bright and early.
Is here. Wow. Well, not early for him. It's
right.
It's a 4 o'clock. I think it's 4 o'clock p.m. In Liverpool. What's up, Davey? Thanks for joining the show. Appreciate it. Has done a great job there. International tip sheet, by the way. There is no. Oh, I knew I'd screwed up. I'm sorry, John. Naples, Florida. Dang it. That's a good place too. Sorry, John. The international tip sheet, there is none this weekend. There won't be every weekend, but Davey's done a great job with the international tip sheet. All right, let's get on to the early pick five. You mentioned there's 2 big stakes later in the day. I wouldn't say this early pick five is, they're not big fields, nothing too exciting, but Kyle, every time I sort of wait for the late pick five and I just play a little bit of the early pick five, sometimes it works out where you crush the early pick five and lose and miss the races early. So let's talk about the early pick five right now. I'm going to go ahead and bring it on the screen. Of course, the races start at Keeneland always at 1 o'clock local. The scratches did come out. I don't know if it's going to be on the screen, Kyle, but we will talk about it. I'm just going to refresh and see if they do have them on the screen, but we'll talk about those as they go along. First race of the day, and I'll bring up our picks in just a moment. Of course, 1 p.m. Eastern, claiming 30, 6 furlongs, just a purse of $58,000. This is for restricted 3-year-old fillies. You see the field there. Moreline favors the number 6, Digital Sale, coming in from Gulfstream for Orsino and Hernandez. Let's see where we are going to kick off the day. I'm going to go 3-5-2. Kyle's going 6-5-2. I don't even have the 6 in the top 3. Perhaps that's going to be a mistake, Kyle. We shall see. Let's go to the PPs. Talk about the number 6 digital sale, your top choice to open the card.
I'll tell you what. I always for those that don't know, I always handicap without morning lines, and they're banking on this horse being the morning line favorite off of one race. Now, granted, that race was off of a long layoff, did drop in class, but won pretty impressively. Now coming up to 30,000. But again, if she improves off that last race. I mean, that was her first race at 3 years old. Got a 68 buyer. She has all the right to improve in this race. And also, if you look at time form here, both the 1 and the 2 they have going out for the lead. If the 6 sits right behind them, it pretty much should be like she should win from that point. But I would not take her at 2-1. And I know a lot of you know that I love at this whole Keeneland meet. Been trying to pick horses to play. Yeah, this would not be one at 2-1. Right now, the 5's actually 5-2, Howard, which we both have in second. And if you're basing your handicapping off of time form, granted on the turf, but this horse is well and truly above the field in terms of numbers.
Well, is she?
The 5.
75 and 73 on the dirt. Now, I bring this up because we love time form, and I've been using a lot more than buyers. And I got to say, Kyle, it's been more effective for me.
Mm-hmm.
That was a 68 buyer, I believe, but only a 75 time form, which is crazy low. So either time form is right or buyers are right. If you believe in buyers, she should win. But look, the 1's run, a 67 to 63. The 2 has got a 77 time form. And her last, this 3 got a 79 and a 73. The 4 does look a little bit slow. The 5, if she can translate it to dirt, boy, I mean, she's going to be a player. The 7's got, again, it is sin numbers, but even the dirt numbers on the go back are 70 and 82. Kyle, it is so aberrational. It's so out of the ordinary that the number is so low on time form and so high on buyer. I just don't trust these 5.5 furlong Gulfstream races at all. Now, you could be exactly right. Maybe the 6 just it's a great trip. It's second off the layoff. The works are really slow. She hasn't worked over Keeneland. I don't know. There's things that it could be a fast pace. There's just things I don't like about the 6. I'm going to use her very defensively. One of us is going to be right. I'm going to go with the 3, my boss lady for Jose Ortiz and Joe Sharp. This combination, speaking of sharp, has been sharp. At Keeneland, you see 3 for 9 this meet. I think she can set off. She's improving. She's got works over the local strip, including a 48 breezing, which for this level is really good. I like my boss lady here quite a bit, taking early money. Of course, we've got almost 2 hours to the first race, so you can't really take that much into account. We mentioned the 5, always practical. I mean, why Maker would put this one on the dirt, I don't know, but he must see something in the morning thinking that she's dirt. She's dropping down. I think always practical is fascinating here.
I couldn't agree with you more. We both have her second. This is the one I was talking about that if she can translate it to dirt, she easily has numbers that beats this field. She had 100 time form, as you pointed out. That was from that maiden optional win at 5.5. I mean, she's worked well in the dirt in the morning. She has a 48-2 work at Fairgrounds, a 49 flat work at Fairgrounds, and then obviously 2 very good synthetic works. So it'd be interesting to see, 1, how she's betting here, and obviously 2, how she runs. She could easily win this race as long as she takes to the dirt.
Absolutely. Gary Rice is here. Gary, I met Gary as well last weekend at Keeneland. What's up, Gary? How you doing? Let's see here. Sylvain, I hope you can hear this. What is the production need in the middle of the show? Sylvain, I tried to send stuff to your email and it's full. So Sylvain, please fix your email, sir, and you'll get all this stuff. So that's not on me, Sylvain. I hate to point him out in the worldwide YouTube here, but we want to take care of our guy from the
as quick as possible. Yeah. As quick as possible.
Sylvain, you've got an issue with your email, not on my end. Just to let you know. Oh, Paul Conlon is stuck at O'Hare. But how far are you from O'Hare? Oh, actually, I'm thinking you're home. I'm a complete idiot. If you were home, you could drive over there and say hi to Paul. And
could. I have 2 minutes from my house back in Chicago. But of course, I am no longer at the At the humble abode.
He missed his connection. Sorry about that. All right, let's move on to the next race. Anyway, pretty open race. I'm curious to see. We have the 2 in the mix also, who I don't think is completely out of it. But pretty big price there, delicate. I'm curious to see what odds the 6 is going to be. You like, I'm a bit against. We will find out who is correct. We're also going to find out who's right, to some extent, with buyers or a time form in this situation. Let's go to race 2. Race 2 is a good, solid main special weight. Let me take the banners off. Here it is. A good, solid main special weight, $110,000 is the purse. 7 furlongs. There's some nice ones in here. The Moorline favorite and going to be the favorite is the Pletcher Velasquez tandem of Crudo, 4 to 5 morning line. There are some other ones here to consider, including Night Agent from the rail and your top choice, number 6, Homer's Odyssey for Asherson and Ramos. Interesting jockey selection on this one. Talk about Homer's Odyssey, Kyle, your top pick to upset Crudo in race 2.
For those that don't know, Ramos and Asmussen actually team up quite a bit. I can't remember the circuit off the top of my head. But they're like, if you look on the right there, how they're 25% of the $3.58 ROI in 2024, 2025. So they team up quite a bit and they do run really well. I actually like Ramos a lot, who's been picking up some mounts for Kelsey Danner, who of course trains for Crown's Way, who you and I own a couple pieces of some horses. This is a horse coming off a layoff from last year, ran decent at Keeneland, ran his best buyer. However, that was against Built and Rendered Judgment in that last race. And that was all at 2 years old. So based on time for numbers, he ran the exact same race that Crudo just did.
Granted, sorry to interrupt you. You can see it's mainly in the Midwest at Indiana Grand and Turfway for the most part are a lot of his wins.
I don't know why I didn't think about that, considering that we run horses at Indy a lot, and that's where Joe Ramos takes the mounts. But you know,
you've been there. Come on, man.
I know more than once. Yeah, and definitely hopefully be back this year. Shout out to Nathan Woodward for that. But either way, Homer's Odyssey, basically just running the exact same numbers as Crudo is at 2. And now he gets a little bit of a freshening off the layoff at now first race at 3 years old. Horses have all the right, more than the right, to improve from 2 to 3, being that they're maturing. This is a horse that's going to be towards the lead. Crudo is going to be up there as well. It's kind of just going to be a throwdown to see whoever's better. But I know it was first time out for Crudo last time, but that race really wasn't too inspiring, but easily can take a step forward here.
Yeah, well, I'll watch the replay. I mean, Homer's Odyssey faced Sing Sing, Giacoso, Built, Rendered Judgment. Like you said, it's been off since October. Been working very well. And you talked about the time form again, something that I thought the 4 would be a complete slam dunk in here. Now, Crudo did have a little bit of trouble. I'm going to show that.
Yep.
Still got a 9-6 buyer against Multiverse, who could be anything. That was a serious main special weight race, I thought, at Gulfstream. But you go back to Homer's Odyssey, there you go, 77, 97. And that was as a 2-year-old. So I guess the question here in this race to me, Kyle, is who's going to take the bigger step forward?
Right.
Is it your 6, Homer's Odyssey, who has not raced in quite a while, but is going from 2 to 3, or is it Crudo? Now, Crudo was the bee's knees last time at 4 to 5. Faced a very good field, including Multiverse here. You see XY Prime, Harvey. Multiverse has turned into a nice one for Riley Mott. Almost won the Hutchison last time, and that move that Multiverse made was impressive. Now, Crudo was the 5 here. I'm not going to show the head on, but Crudo did not get off to a great start. In behind there and sort of in the yellow, took a lot of dirt, which I like is right here. The way this horse middle moved, though, I mean, you can see it's sort of climbing a little bit, Kyle, with his fronts. And boy, once he gets in the clear, this is a really impressive middle move to me into a very fast pace, 22. And then I think it's going to be 45 and change. It might even be 40. No, I think it was 45.
45 and change. Yep.
Right. 3 wide, doing it somewhat in hand. Here comes this trained Multiverse here. But when you watch this replay, Kyle, someone who's an experienced handicapper at this point, yes, he gets beat, but he was 3 wide moving into the fast part of the race. Actually had trouble. See the lead switch issues there also. Does get beat pretty handily, but I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass. This is my top pick.
Yeah, and look, he can definitely win, and I could be wrong on this race. The only thing that kind of was, granted, he did have trouble, but I would have liked him to stay on maybe a little bit more. He kind of fades
Yeah.
back at the end here, but again, it's first time out. There's so many different, factors that go into a horse's first race. So, and also it's impossible to miss the, as you said, the yellow and orange blocks of Bobby Flay himself. So it's
Yeah.
interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how he runs, but it's basically going to be the 4-6 in front, unless that 5, the first timer, shows speed. It's
Right.
going to be 4-6 up front. It's kind of just going to be, in my eyes, who's better.
Yeah, this horse Crudo by also Triple Crown nominated. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
well, I shouldn't say obviously, but you wouldn't figure he'd be in a Triple Crown race. I mean, maybe the Belmont if he really develops. The Dam, by the way, blossomed. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a half to Awesome
Yep.
Result. Remember Awesome Result, who was going to come to the Breeders' Cup and then didn't, to face what she would have faced Torpedo Anna, right? And some others
Mhm.
that race and randomized. That race completely fell apart. Ashley came back in February and won again. Awesome Results, 8 for 8. So anyway, the same, a sibling here to Crudo. So Crudo could be anything. I'm going to go with Crudo. I hear what you're saying. Could win. The one was Night Agent. Breaks from the rail. Got a perfect trip last time and lost to a complete monster in Accelerize. I think this is a tough spot to beat those two. I suppose I wouldn't be shocked, but that's our third pick.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be shocked. Did get a perfect trip last time, as you mentioned, ran into Accelerize. So working well, and has had a couple trips over the Keeneland surface. I know you like to see, Howard, on the work tab. So
I do like to see
one that can definitely, ran a 70 buyer last time. So if you're going just off that, easily can get up in the money this race at least. But yeah, between the 4 and the 6 could be a tough spot.
Yep, and I watched some works on this 6, and he's working just fine. So I think it's a throwdown. I think you're right, between the 4 and the 6. We shall see. Let's go to race 3. You see the picks on the bottom of our screen for race 3, and here come the PPs. Starter allowance 10,000. They're going to mile and eighth. Purses is 50,000. We got a field of 9. We do see the scratch now. Montauk Point is out. Moyline favorite is number 9, Copper Light, for Nolan Ramsey and Jose Ortiz. I'm going 294. You're going 942. You are going to chalk out here. I'm not 100% sure this one will be the favorite, but it will be one of the well fancied runners. Talk about Copper Light.
Yeah, this is going to be one that's interesting on terms from a favorite standpoint, but I'll tell you what, Howard, I have a lot stronger opinions later. I don't know if you felt the same way. These races, you feel like can go either ways. You see from our picks, we have all the same horses, but we're just going with completely different, random orders.
Yep.
It seems like the 4 executive action based on time form should be loose in this race. My problem is I don't know if he's necessarily as good as the other 2 in here, but time form has him right there. Copper, those last 2 races, you want to talk about a time form and buyer discrepancy, Howard. That horse got a 90 buyer 2 back and an 83 buyer last time, and is only rated on the time form with a 98 and a 93. So you want to talk about, that's a big discrepancy. I mean, the horse almost got the same time form as a buyer, and that's, for those that don't know, it's probably about a 15-point discrepancy between time form and buyers. So we'll see how she runs here. I disagree with time. Time form says this horse is going to be last. It's a he. I'll take a drink for that. It's fine.
All right. Are we drinking already? It's only 10,
no.
20.
We got a good Celsius going. We got to get started for the day here.
All right.
But
I hear there's a bunch of sickness from last weekend. Boy, it takes a while to get over Keeneland. I'll tell you that.
Trust me, I think it's just my body telling me that I need to go back. But Copperlight, I'm hoping that he's going to be a little bit closer than what time form says. If he sits mid-pack, he can definitely catch up to a horse like the 4, at least in my opinion. But we'll see how those Tampa races translate, and they've translated okay so far to the Keeneland meet. There's been a good couple winners from Tampa this so far this meet, but be interesting to see how this one will take, and probably not willing to trust at 5-2.
Every time I see Copper Bullet, I think of our buddy Copper Missile, who's no longer with Crownsway. But boy, he's figured out the game. So good for that horse, Copper Missile. Yeah, I mean, buyers should win.
Yep.
Time form, absolutely no guarantee whatsoever. And people are not familiar. Again, buyers is purely a speed number, pretty much based on the time that they finish relative to the other races on the card that day, while time form does take into account the race flow and some other things. So again, people can make their own decisions. Copper Light to me is definitely one that should appreciate the distance.
Yep.
One at a mile and eighth before. Should get a nice cozy outside post. Might be a little wide. It's a actually it's a mile and eight. Sorry. So there shouldn't be any issues really. But I'm gonna go with the number 2. This was a tough call between the 2 and the 9. I hate to just be sort of chalky or Mr. Obvious here, Kyle. But again, these field sizes this morning or in the early part of the card are not huge, and everyone knows I'd love to find prices, but I'm not going to throw shit out there if I don't think it's worth talking about. Proven Hope, the number 2, I think it'll be more forward than Copperlight will get the jump. Gabriel Saez, Diodoro, again, no local, actually a local work, not local, but in Kentucky has a work at the Churchill Downs Training Center, so has already shipped up to Kentucky. I do like that. Raced here last year. I think it's just very logical, and it will not be wide. And so I do like that. We'll see how the track plays. I did consider the 4 as a speed possibility. I don't know how good he is. Sorry. I know he's going to be on the lead, but it just feels like the 2 and the 9 are just a little bit better. Can the 4 wire the field? Absolutely. I mean, I've got the horse in the mix, obviously. I just didn't see much else in this race. So there's nothing wrong with going skinny on we're not going to show our early pick 5 tickets. There's nothing wrong with going skinny and trying to hit it a few times. I don't usually do that with pick 5s, but I might consider that, especially if you single the 4 or the 6 in race 2. There's zero reason to go too deep in that race, at least in my opinion, or even 3 deep. I think you got to go with 1 for the most part, unless you're going to weigh your opinions. Kyle, before we get into the last 2 races, very quickly, I do want to talk about 2 very exciting things happening here on the HHH Racing Podcast. Our Derby Oaks package is now available, ladies and gentlemen. It's inexpensive. It's very profitable. You go to our website, which I'm going to show up here on the screen right now. It's very simple. You go to our website, you go to the top Power Picks tip sheet, and there it is, Kentucky Oaks Power Picks. You can find out all the information. You get full card grids, horizontal plays. It's almost 20 pages, Kyle, of information. Most of the information will be given myself, Pete, and Paul, but all of our hosts and co-hosts will be involved in giving their selections. Again, you do that through Venmo or PayPal. Not only that, Kyle, and I think it was worth putting this up, we do have an example. This is just the Oaks. It's a 2-day package. You get 1 Friday morning, 1 Saturday morning for each day. It's a 2-day package, and you can click on this, and you can see what's on there. I'm not showing the whole screen, but I do want to mention last year. Where is she? We tipped out the Grizzly Bear. I think she was like 4-1, which in hindsight now sounds absolutely crazy. But at the time, we didn't know how good she was going to be, so we did tip out Torpedo Anna at 4-1. Highly recommend people check out that package. Will be on sale until about Wednesday of Derby week,
which is coming up, people. So if you want to get in on this, I highly recommend it. Honestly, Howard, it's a lot more affordable than some of the packages I've seen, and you get a lot more information. So, like I said, the ROI is all posted on here. We have every single metric to show you guys that we're being as genuine as possible, and we really do get. Contrary to popular belief, sometimes we actually do give really good opinions. So please go to hhhracingpodcast.com and get your Derby Oaks package today.
Who said we're not giving good opinions? I'm gonna pop them on the head. Look, we're not always right, but we have proven record documented of doing very well. Highly recommend people look into that. The last thing, very quickly, this Monday night, Kyle, we have a special Derby fantasy draft. The order was picked on Thursday, so we're very excited. Yourself and Patrick have the number 1 pick. I wonder who that's going to be.
Yeah.
Maybe you can write up. Maybe you can write about it sometime. But most importantly to our viewers and listeners, other than the fun fantasy draft, is everyone there at you at home. You have a chance to win a $50 free win bet on the Kentucky Derby. Now, look, Kyle, you pick an 8-1, 10-1. We're giving away basically $500 possibly. And even if you go with journalism at what, 5-2.
5
What's
to 2.
wrong? 3 to what's wrong with collecting a free $125? So if you want to find out how to win a free $50 win bet in the Derby, you got to watch our show Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. And Kyle takes zero skill to be
Nope.
eligible and to win that $50 free win bet.
Yeah, no, hey, that's the beauty of the giveaway, isn't it? Is that
Sure
you get
is.
lucky, you can have your free chance. And yeah, who's that's 8 to 10 to 1 sound like that's gonna net me hopefully a couple $1,000 come Derby day.
Yes.
But I'm not. Maybe I'll pick him with the number one pick. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not going to. But
Fair.
real quick, Howard, one question I want to acknowledge in the chat. It says, is the Derby package included in the annual subscription, meaning Team HHH? Yes, that is correct. If you signed up for Team HHH, you do get the Oaks Derby package as part of being part of Team HHH.
Thank you. I will be sending out an email tomorrow with more details. But yes, if you're a member of Team HHH, you will get the Derby package. If you are a yearly subscriber of just our standard Power Picks, Kyle,
That's
then
true.
they will get obviously Power Picks that weekend, but they'll be much more condensed. They'll be like our normal, 5 to 6 page Power Pick, and it will not be full card. So if you want a lot more details, you really ought to look into the Derby package if you are not a part of Team HHH.
That's a
All
good
right.
distinction.
Yes, let's go on to race 4. Race 4 is allowance $120,000. A mile and 3/16. They are on the turf. Scratch the 1. It's only a field of 6. The morning line favorite is number 7. Fixin' to be Rusty Arnold and Mr. Velasquez. I'm going 4-6-7. You're going 6-4-7. We're going with the same 3. We are going with different top choice. You're going to go with Good Temper for Will Walden and Rosario.
Yeah, and Will Walden finally got the elusive win last weekend, but he's been good, 4 for 7 in the money so far. And we joke about Joel Rosario a lot on our show if you guys don't watch, but I love when he's on the lead and just gets cleared. This horse, granted, I know it's a mile in the 3/16 race. Pace scenario can arguably have less of a factor, but we've seen it so many times in these races. This horse looks completely loose on paper. Granted, maybe the 5 to right to her inside might have a little something to say with it, but she's running on the lead. She was near the lead at a mile in the 8th and a mile in the 16th race, running 48.50. Even if the 6 Good Temper maybe sits right off, I don't think she'll have any type of issue. It's a complete pace play for me, Howard. She's working very well on the Keeneland strip. Again, we've seen it so many times where it's like, it's a long distance turf race. Horses can come from the middle, come from the back, doesn't matter. But if she sits and runs, 49-4 and 113-2, you could have a hard time catching her.
The only thing I don't like, and I've got her second, you could be absolutely right. It's not the distance. It's that last race. I know she won by 7, but that field. Was, boy, always practical. You can see came back and dropped 8 points. She was in 4th. Spun Up, who finished 6th, dropped 14 points. Carolina Smoke Show and Midnight Blaze did improve, but they were 2nd and 3rd to last. I mean, Romany Road. That was just an awful field, to be very honest with you. And so I have major concerns about the field that Good Temper beat, although she did it very well. I think a lot of people are going to go to Fixin' to Be, and I got to be honest. I looked at this horse real carefully, Kyle. Probably spent too much time. I watched her last 2 races, which, granted, were against good horses. I mean, she lost to Nitrogen. The Ginger Brew was good. I mean, Nitrogen loved Cerveri, Savetta, then faced Vixen. Ramsey Pond came back and won from the last race. So people might think, wow, this horse is just going to tower over the field class-wise. I got to tell you, 2 back, she rode the rail, was a complete non-factor. That was a tougher race. Last time, I didn't see much of excuse. She ranged up. She didn't finish. I don't get the feeling that distance is what she wants. I know this is an English channel on the damn side, but boy, I don't know. I'm against her a little bit. I don't see it necessarily. I mean, she can win because of the field. I'm gonna take a chance at Golden Sunshine here. You have second, DeTore. I really think this one does want distance. She's gradually improving. She was in the Bourbonette last time and actually ran pretty good against Bless the Broken. There's no speed in this race, but I think DeTore has proven to be more forward. The damn Fitful Skies. I mean, look at this: 1.5 miles, mile 3/8, mile and a quarter. I think this one will sit off of the 6 go by, and I'm hoping it's going to, hold off the 7. That's what I envision. Doesn't always work that way, but we might get, I don't know, 3-1 here on Golden
Hmm.
Sunshine. I mean, it's a small field, but I don't trust Fixing to be at all here, and you don't either.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think Fixing the Bee is probably gonna be something like 6-5 off of those running lines, and
Really?
not gonna take that horse at
Okay.
anywhere something to 5. I'll tell you that much. But
Okay.
6 a pace play. 4 I have the horse in second. I really like her a lot. They tried the Bourbonette last time with a Charlie horse myself with Bless the Broken. So um, I think Golden Sunshine's got a really good shot in here. To me,
I think so.
we could be completely wrong, but I wouldn't put Fixing to Be in anything and try and beat her at a really short price.
Yeah, I think I would only go 4-6 and just take my chances. Let's go on to the last race. Didn't want to show that. Sorry. The last race. How are we gonna get paid here in the early pick 5? It's a 40 claimer,
I
6.5 furlongs. They're on the dirt. This is for 3 to 4-year-old colts. We got 2 scratches. The number 2, Illini, Illini, if you Illini fans, is out. Liam's Journey, the 8, which would have taken money for sure, that I was completely against. So I'm a little bit bummed by that. I might have to change. No, I don't have to actually change the picks, because look at this. Neither one of us liked the 8. So that's a bit of a bummer, Kyle, when there's a horse that I was going to take money that neither one of us liked. I'm going 7-6-4. You're going 7-6-5. We're very similar. Again, I hate to chalk up, but Top Gun Rocket just seems way too obvious here. I wouldn't put a big win bet on this horse, but this field is just sort of meh. And without the 8, I think Top Gun Rocket's going to sit a great trip. Although I wouldn't discount Colorado Cruiser, the number 6, who's interesting. But talk about Top Gun Rocket quickly, and then we'll talk about the 6.
Yeah, Rob N says it the best. Rockets race to lose, and the way we're going to make money in this, Howard, is by singling this horse. Because if it's not Top Gun Rocket on top, I mean, I didn't know what to do with the 6, the 8, I didn't know how to do anyone underneath in this race. It seems like there's so many question marks underneath in this race. Like the 6 definitely has good races back, but it lost. I mean, you can't beat Shards, of course, but
No.
Losing by 34.25 last time. Granted, maybe just not a synthetic horse. Getting back to the dirt probably, but Top Gun Rocket just looks like the moto obvious and looks to run like it. It's going to sit right off the pace. One at Churchill going 6.5, this exact distance. Gulfstream at 7 was a little bit weird, but that was off maybe a little bit of a layoff. So getting back to hopefully what this horse wants to do, has run well at Keeneland before. Again, you hate to chalk out, but just seems like the real moto obvious horse in a race of just really mid horses.
I mean, 1 for 13 took
I know.
a lot 11 starts to break his maiden. And this is usually a horse I'm completely against, Kyle, but I in this spot, I think he's going to be tough here again. No local works, but has been working consistently down at Palm Meadows. I don't think he lays over the field, but I think he is the top pick. Colorado Cruiser to me is fascinating. Again, Dettori here. I mean, when this horse was a 2-year-old, Nisos, Coach Prime, and then as you know, last year, Banned for Life, the wonderful Shards, who is, by the way, going to be running at Woodbine in about a few weeks, and then cross our fingers, maybe the Jaipur. Oh boy, that would be fun. Going 5.5 on Belmont,
Saratoga,
Belmont Day, at Saratoga, right? This is the only one. If he can find his back form, he's been working well for O'Neill. I have a feeling this one is dead sending, Colorado Cruiser. Maybe he can wire the field and get the jump on Top Gun Rocket, who again is 1 for 13 and not exactly a win machine, but there are other ways to go. I think on a skinny ticket, I would go too deep just because I think you get value with Colorado Cruiser, but I just think Top Gun Rocket could be tough in this spot. Kyle, there's also as we wrap up the show, there is a big pick 6, $80,000 plus carryover at Keeneland today, starting the next race. Again, where can people find out information on the late pick 5, Kyle, other than our power pick tip sheet, if they want some info and play the pick 6?
Well, Howard, that'd be right here on the HHH Racing podcast, but you're gonna have to look over to a show that I mentioned that I host, on Bettin' and Boozin', episode 128. You'll find it right here. If you just if you come over to YouTube, just click right on the HHH Racing Podcast YouTube channel, or if you're over on X, please come over to youtube.com/HHH Racing Podcast, and you'll scroll down to find Bettin' and Boozin', again, episode 128. I thought we did a good job breaking it down with some pretty heavy opinions from myself. So hopefully we can get those home later in the card as well.
For sure. Please check out Ben and Boozin'. Real quick, just to get some comments up, because I didn't get a lot of comments. We'll wrap up the show. The weather is windy and warm at Keeneland. Maybe a small chance of rain, but I think they're going to be okay there. Just to let you know about that. Thanks for asking. Rob Enns at Homer's Odyssey had a nice workout video, by the way, Kyle, in race 2 on April 1st, and that is race 2, right? So we'll be able to see. Yeah, we'll be able to see what the doubles look like. I'm assuming the 4 is going to be the favorite there. Ed Morales said Crudo actually means hung over. So wow, I don't know if that if you like Crudo, that might not be where you want to go. We have Save the Clock Towers here. Appreciate that. Save the Clock Tower. Let's see here. Just seeing what else we got here in the chat. Yeah, we answered the question about the Derby package, and I think we are good. TC Markham wants a Top Gun rocket. We'll jog home. Wow, for all the chalk lovers. That is very possible. Dr. K, happy Easter to all. Happy Easter from TC Markham. I think it's going to wrap it up, Kyle. Really appreciate hundreds of people watching. Again, very quickly, check out our Derby Oaks package if you're not a part of Team HHH. And especially, Kyle, Monday night, the first of, get this, about 10 to 12 Derby Oaks preview shows. It all starts next week with the Derby and Oaks in 2 weeks. But Monday night, our very fun fantasy draft, Kyle, and it's very rare. All 9 hosts and co-hosts will be on screen along with, he's basically a co-host, Matt Miller, to give the live fantasy draft for the Derby, and there is also one Oaks pick as well. Should be a lot of fun. Anything else you want to say, Kyle, as we wrap it up here?
No, but everyone just good luck. Keeneland, again, echo all the statements earlier. Happy Easter to all. Hope all have a good weekend. I know, like I said, I'm trying to capitalize on the long weekend I had off yesterday, so trying to get rid of what you guys hear in my nose, and hopefully we'll crush it hard today at Keeneland.
I think you said it well. It's very simple. Crush your bets in the early pick 5 at Keeneland and the late pick 5 and the pick 6. Why not?
Everything
today. Good luck, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is our last Keeneland today, unless we do one next week on Friday for closing day. Stay tuned for that. For Kyle Roscoe, Howard Kravitz, take care, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
If you have not followed his Triple H Horse Racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.